It's your favorite YouTube dealer. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. So, Harry has been dropping a lot of written music, which has been extremely dope. I think we all can agree on that. My man has he just has a skill for pretty much anything he does when it comes to music, the writing, the flows, the delivery. Obviously, he's the go-to freestyle. And like I've said many times now, that has built him a vocabulary that allows him to write at a whole nother level. And then his rhythm that he's gotten from drumming and stuff like that has given him the ability to flow in certain pockets that you don't always hear rappers flow in. So he's a really interesting individual, right? And an extremely talented one. And I came across an old song called Napoleon Hill, which is a written song from him, and it dropped 5 years ago. And it only has like 360,000 views, which is not anything near what some of his other songs have done. It's still a good number. I mean, I would love to get 360,000 views on a song. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I wish. Give me half of that. But I wanted to dive into this and see what my man was cooking with written wise 5 years ago versus the stuff that we're hearing now. So let's dive in and let's find out.
What's the matter with you? Money isn't everything. You think so?
Yeah. Said every day I envision myself folding them bills, trying to think and grow rich like Napoleon Hill. Imagining how it feels, copping wheels from my friends. Road of life is like a fancy car, the way it bends, so I stay focused. At times it seems hopeless. Eternity of brokenness is something I can't cope with.
That's okay. Hold up. I like that. It took me a second. I was like, yo, it's like a fancy car, the way it bends. Yo, I like that. That's actually kind of dope.
Trying to think and grow rich like Napoleon Hill. Imagining how it feels, copping wheels from my friends. Road of life is like a fancy car, the way it bends, so I stay focused. At times it seems hopeless. Eternity of brokenness is something I can't cope with. Ain't nothing funny about having no gas in your tank, but the joke's on y'all. Soon I'll be laughing to the bank. I can feel it, and all I ever wanted was to kill it in the field of my dreams. And I know if I build it, they gon' come through. I'm trying to get a check like 1, 2. Dreams of money bundles on the humble, hope they come true. Philosophize like Sun Tzu while flipping through these pages. Rise and shine like the sun do. Go to war for these wages. This life is sure to test you like rats up in some cages. We scratching for the cheddar, trying to navigate these mazes.
The scheme right there in that sequence was really, really dope. So this is crazy because this was 5 years ago. I feel like he had attention on him then, but not like he got through the pandemic, right? Once Omegle bars blew up and all that kind of stuff, like his shit started to skyrocket. So it's crazy to see him back then, my man eating the cup of noodles, which, I mean, you don't got to be rich to get out of eating cup of noodles. Like he probably just likes them, right? I think cup of noodles is pretty good personally. There's just a lot of sodium and shit like that. So I'd be trying to be careful with my diet and stuff. Anyways, I just feel like this was cool because he's talking about how he's going to take it to the next level. He's talking about how he's going to start to make more, all this kind of stuff. And it happened, right? Like now this man is touring the world. Like we see him doing gorilla bars before he does his tour shows in Italy, was he in Germany? Like he's literally all over the place now. And he's packing shows out everywhere and going crazy with his online videos and all that kind of stuff. So it's just cool to see and hear him talk about this back then before shit took off on a whole nother level. I feel like he was doing well back then. He probably had a couple 100,000, if not more subscribers at this point. You guys might know better that have been following him since before the pandemic, but obviously that shit catapulted him to a whole new level.
I'll be laughing to the bank, I can feel it. And all I ever wanted was to kill it in the field of my dreams. And I know if I build it, they gon' come through. I'm trying to get a check like 1, 2. Dreams of money bundles on the humble, hope they come true.
I like that too. I'm trying to get a check like 1, 2. The whole check 1, 2 check. Okay, yeah, that's fire. This man, it's like little simple things that he just slides in. It works as a double.
Philosophize like Sun Tzu while flipping through these pages. Rise and shine like the sun do. Go to war for these wages.
Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about here. So he's going back and forth between the rhymes like Sun Tzu, wages, like just rise and shine like the sun do. Like he goes back and forth between those two every other bar, and I like that.
Like Sun Tzu while flipping through these pages. Rise and shine like the sun do. Go to war for these wages. This life is sure to test you like rats up in some cages. We scratching for the cheddar, trying to navigate these mazes. And you know how it goes. 1 for the money, 2 for the dough, 3 for the paper, fortune to blow. Where do we go from here? I don't know. Come on, said you know how it go. 1 for the money, 2 for the dough, 3 for the paper, fortune to blow. Where do we go from here? I don't know. Yeah, said I don't know. Said we scratching for the cheddar, trying to navigate these mazes. And it amazes me how we give these dead presidents praises, even though in most cases they were racist. Tears in our eyes while we chasing blue faces.
Yo, he's like, how do we give these dead presidents praises when most of them were racist? And, yo, first of all, this is a dope edit with the pennies and the, you know what I'm saying, on these people's faces. It's kind of crazy.
Navigate these mazes, and it amazes me how we give these dead presidents praises, even though in most cases they were racist. Tears in our eyes while we chasing blue faces. Got me tripping like some shoelaces. Sexual harassment in workplaces. Nobody say shit without a pay slip. You gon' be slipping on the payments. Job is a job, be gracious. Call center got me on some gay shit. Wish I could buy a spaceship. If I was paid like him, would I go and waste it on the face? Or say some shit that's tasteless just to be another wax figure in the video for famous. Why we so obsessed with the list? I mean A-list, Forbes list, 10 commandments, and Santa's list, and materialism we trust. Without that we can't exist. Trying to convert like evangelists, dollars to Bitcoin, low pro, scared of lists, and it just keeps getting harder for the poor. Easy to get more what you started with before. In your best interest to get that compound, bogged down, 90 Rolls Royces at the compound. Damn, and you know how.
That was a dope verse. I really enjoyed that. Like, he's kind of just, he's going through a lot of different things. Like, you know, would I buy and do these things as other people do just to be, you know, a wax figure and be famous and all this other stuff. And then, you know, how we're really focused on the lists, like the A-list celebrities, the Forbes list, like all these different things. It's always about something, right? Instead of just like the shit that's actually important in life and the things that actually matter and actually caring about people and stuff like that.
How we go, 1 for the money, 2 for the dough, 3 for the paper, fortune to blow. Where do we go from here? I don't know, come on. I said you know how it go, 1 for the money, 2 for the dough, 3 for the paper, fortune to blow. Where do we go from here, yo? Still every day I envision myself folding them bills, trying to think and grow rich like Napoleon Hill.
So I'm pretty sure, okay, this is interesting. So I see, I didn't know the progression of Harry Mack, right? So it seems like, and if it's true based on the video, a fan video of him freestyling probably in Venice Beach or something like that went viral and obviously brought him more attention. And now he's showing himself sitting down like he's there with like a label exec or something like that, and they want to sign him because he went viral and he has this freestyle ability, which I would guess that this probably actually happened because they're always looking for something. So they see you go viral, they're like, yo, we can milk this. That's literally the way that they look at it. And so he's sitting down looking over the paper with the pen, but obviously he's not, I'm positive he's not going to sign because he's reading it and realizing like, yo, this is not what I'm about. This is exactly what I've been, you know, at least in this video, what I've been rapping about, like, would I do this? Why is it always about this, that, and the third? So now that I'm sitting down here, like, I'm going to keep those same morals amongst me. And I think that if this was something that was really offered to him, he's genius to have not have done it because now he's in full control of his own, what do I want to say? I was going to say entity, but he's in full control of his, like, let's just say music-wise masters, right? Like he's in control of all of his content. And so he gets to make all the profit off it. He gets to decide what gets reinvested and how it gets reinvested and what he's going to do next. He has nobody over his shoulder telling him, hey, okay, we got to do this. You got to show up here. Here's what we're going to do next. We're going to take 50%. Like none of that is happening, right? Because now he decided to take it and continue to go with it on his own, which is genius.
I envision myself folding them bills, trying to think and grow rich like Napoleon Hill. They asking what separates me and I told them it's skill. Till they offered me a deal, sold my soul for the mills. Damn.
That's actually dope. So this, okay, all right, this is interesting. So this song is not necessarily a real story. He may have been offered a deal, but this song, it seems like now, okay, it was a concept story of somebody who's wanting to blow up, who's saying, you know, one day I'm going to have this, one day I'm going to have that, one day things are going to, you know, are going to get better. I'm going to have money and stuff like that. And then as it goes on and he's pointing out these different things and shit that doesn't matter, like, oh, the A-list, the Forbes list, like we focus too much on this stuff. But then at the end of it, he gets that contract in front of him. And like he said, I sold my soul for the mill. So in reality, in this video, he's an artist that signed it. That although he said all this stuff that he said leading up to it and he felt a certain way and gave his opinion on it and has, you know, certain feelings about the industry and all this kind of stuff, when it was offered to him, he was willing to just give up all of that. He sold his soul because he gave up his morals to sign that paper to make the money. And there's a lot of artists that do that, you know. There's probably even more artists that don't sell their soul, that they just want it because they don't really understand it. And they get themselves locked into a crazy deal. And I can't remember which video it was I talked about this with, but Like when you sign a deal, it's really tricky. Like let's just say that they give you $100,000 advance, right? So you're like, all right, this is crazy. Like I could, buy myself a car. I can invest it into my, cause right. You might think I only need so many thousand to get my album off the ground, right? Like to record it and all that stuff. Maybe I'll put half of it aside for that just in case. And if I have extra left over, cool. The other 50,000, I could buy myself a car or I can get myself a chain, like some nice things and all this, stuff that you feel like you need or you want as an artist or, just whatever it is that intrigues you, I guess, so to speak. And then you also sign a deal where they're like, all right, well, we're going to take 60% of your album because we're going to promote it, put it all these places, and you can get 40%, which honestly, I don't even know if that's what deals are. I've never personally seen a lot of people's contracts. It might even be worse, 70-30, 80-20. I don't know. But what you have to understand is, let's just say it's 60-40, right? So they take 60%. That 60% doesn't go towards paying that $100,000 advance that they gave you back. That comes out of your 40%. Right. So I don't mean to sit here and take forever, but I'm just going to do some math really quick. Right. So you owe $100,000. Let's just say that your album sells for $10 a pop, just to, keep it simple. Right. So it sells for $10. You get 40% of that. So you get $4 per album sale. So $100,000 divided by 4 means you have to sell at least 25,000, which I guess like so that doesn't sound horrible if you're an artist that went viral and you get like crazy sales, but like the average person, it's tough. Like I'm putting it on a much smaller scale. I feel like it would be worse than that, to be honest with you. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is your first 25,000 albums that you sell would go towards paying back that 100,000. So you have to sell more than 25,000 just to make any profit yourself. And after that, it's still only $4 per album sale, right? And honestly, this is probably on the better side. I would almost bet that some of these are like 80-20. Or even worse, depending on how much leverage you have coming into that deal, right? Like they might just look at you like, okay, we think you're a dope artist, but you don't have a crazy amount of attention. We can give you that, right? So we're going to take 80% to do that for you, to promote you, to put you on all these different shows and stuff like that. You'll get 20%. Here's your advance. Now you're looking at $2 an album that you're going to get back. So now you've got to sell 50,000 to pay, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you get stuck in this weird space, because even if you have one song that goes viral, you may still flop on your album release. Like you might still only sell 10,000, right? And then what? Then you owe all that money back to them, and then they eventually drop you because they're like, there's nothing here. Now you're in a spot. So it's crazy. It's something that you got to be careful of, and that's only if they offer you 100,000. Like let's just say they offer you 500,000. Like now you're paying insane amount. You got to sell so much to be able to pay them back. It's just a lot of crazy stuff that goes into it. And that's honestly just the surface. Like there's more than that goes into all this kind of shit. And that's just my surface level understanding of it. So you got to be careful out here. And I feel like nowadays it's so much better for artists that we can control our stuff. We can create our own content, put it on YouTube. We can distribute it to Spotify and all these places without the need of any label. So it's much better to just stay independent, in my own personal opinion. But anyways, long-winded, just wanted to talk about that. I appreciate you guys. So this was Harry 5 years ago. Shout out to my man, because he still killed it. Like absolutely killed it. I feel like he's definitely leveled up for sure. But this was extremely dope for 5 years ago. So take it easy, stay safe. I'll catch you in the next one, homies.